going to show you how to do lasagna using the pressure cooker. I'm just using the dry lasagna noodles. I have 1.5 pounds of deer that I've already browned with onions and garlic. I'm just using store-bought tomato sauce, pasta sauce. And I have 8 ounces of mild cheddar that I grated. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the pasta sauce to the meat. This is a 24-ounce jar. I'm using the tomato and basil. And what I'm going to do is add some water to the jar just to get the rest of the sauce out and add a little water to the sauce. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add that extra water. I may need to add more. We're going to just go ahead and see. It just needs to be wet enough to cook the noodles. Okay, I think that's the consistency that I want to go with. Okay, today I'm going to be using my 14-quart Go Wise pressure cooker. I already have a rack in the bottom, and I'm just going to put enough water till it gets up to the bottom of the rack. You may need to add less depending on what size pressure cooker you go with. Okay, I went ahead and lightly sprayed a 2-quart Pyrex bowl with cooking spray. And I'm just going to start doing my layers. I always start with the meat layer first. Okay, I'm just going to take the dry lasagna noodles and just place them in the bowl. They don't have to be perfect. What I'll probably do, just kind of make sure I alternate the design. Now you can add whatever you want to this. You can make it with different types of cheese sauce. This is just a quick version. So I'm going to do it different this time, just to make sure they overlap each other. A little messy. You want to make sure your sauce is wet enough to cook the noodles. Could do one more layer, but I'm just going to test this out. It's the first time I made this, so I'm just going to stop at this layer just to make sure I got enough liquid to cook the noodles in the sauce. You want to make sure, of course, all the noodles are covered in the sauce well. You have to add a little extra around the edges. Okay, I took a piece of aluminum foil and I just folded it into thirds. You just want to make a little sling for your bowl so you can lift it in and out of the pressure cooker. Okay, I'm just going to place it in the pressure cooker. Just take and fold those down, the little handles. Okay, and I'm going to put the lid on it and I'm going to cook it under pressure for 7 minutes. Okay, after 7 minutes, I'm going to do the quick release method. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove the lid. Okay, fogged up the camera there. Okay, now I just want to check the noodles to see if they're done, because if not, I'm going to stick them back in there a little bit longer. Okay, I got enough sauce, but the noodles aren't soft enough. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it back in there. And I'm going to go ahead and add some extra cheese on top also, since I already have it open. I'm just going to put some Colby Jack cheese on top. Didn't really have enough earlier, already shredded. Like I say, this is the first time I'm trying it, so you can buy the noodles that you don't have to boil, and those would be a lot quicker. This is just all I had on hand. So I'm going to go ahead and put the top back on it. I'm going to cook it for 5 more minutes because I want to make sure that the noodles are good and soft. But it looks like we have enough liquid, which is a good thing. I'm going to test the pasta. Yeah, it's definitely soft now. I'm going to just let it sit for a few minutes with the lid on it. That's the thing about lasagna. You definitely want to let it sit before you try to cut into it. Okay, I'm using oven-safe gloves, and I'm just going to remove the sling to get the lasagna out. Okay, and I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes because you want the lasagna to kind of set. Even though I left it in the pan, it was still real hot, so it needs time to sit like at room temperature. Okay, after letting it sit for a few minutes, I'm going to try to cut into it. It still may be too warm. You don't want it cold, of course, but you also don't want it too warm to where it just slides off your spatula. I'm going to try to use this one here. I don't know if it'll work. We're going to see. Okay, well, let me try to... The noodles are cooked perfectly. I always have the worst trouble getting it out. I think I'm going to try a different spatula. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to get it out with this spatula here. It's probably going to fall apart still, somewhat. There you have it. Thanks a lot.